Well, hello everybody, Leslie here. Wanted to talk today about the beginning of your paralegal career and what can occur with the mindset. I know that when I started, I felt like a failure for probably the first 2 years, and I promised myself I needed to shift my mindset, that I had to, and let me grab my notebook here. I had to start writing down the things that I learned how to do and look at my value as a human, but also that I had learned a tremendous amount. In the first job, so you feel like your feet are held to the fire because you've got a lot to learn. I don't care if you have a PhD in paralegal studies. You have a lot to learn once you land in that first job. And a lot of it is just learned flying by the seat of your pants. It's not learned sitting in a conference room and being taught. So get that picture out of your mind. So it can be tough, never mind that I felt that for 2 years, but I felt it intensely for the first 2 months. Is that something to be afraid of? I have felt that in every job I've ever started until I got the hang of it. In the legal field, there's a lot to learn. You will feel so much better after the 6-month mark. But then when I switched jobs after 7 months in the first job, I went into a whole different area of law. So I had to learn how personal injury law worked when I had been in something totally different. So I felt that I just didn't have the puzzle pieces together. And I've talked to other paralegals who, we were all new paralegals at one point, and we all started with zero experience. And people are starting with zero experience today. So, we all have to start that way. So it takes a while before you get what I call your sea legs, where you just feel like you're understanding. But the main goal for you should be this, that you're going to strive to see, like if you're working in litigation, any type of preparing for trial, then you want to understand how you start a case and how it progresses. That's putting the puzzle pieces together and what you do at every step. Okay, so along your career, that's what you want to nail down in the area of law you work in. So feeling like this is normal. And I don't want you to think that you're alone and this is so abnormal and this is you. If you start to think that way, that's coming from your past, either how you were raised, the impact that had on you. I know it had an impact on me. And where family members could not understand why I would go into that field, yet I had 2 aunties in the field, so go figure. But it was going into this field, I had no idea what it was about. I just decided to check it out because I had 2 aunties that worked in it at that time. And I have never regretted it. And I knew that I had to learn a lot along the way. You know that too, or you should know it. But when you start to feel like a failure, I want you to take your notebook where you are writing down everything you know how to do. And I want you to remind yourself how far you've come. Whether it's a journal or it's just a plain old Dollar Tree notebook that I certainly use to write down my skill sets in software. What do I know? What kind of software do I know? And what do I know how to do in that software? And then what do I know how to do in the legal field? If you are looking at going into the legal field, which I'm assuming you are, then you want to be sure that you are using Google to the max. for your investigation about the career. And if you're looking at personal injury, criminal law, real estate law, family law, those are the top that people tell me they want to go into. That I want, whatever that area of law is that you want to work in, I want you to remember, you have to research it from a paralegal's view, not from an attorney's view. But what do paralegals do in personal injury law, in insurance law, in workers' compensation law, bankruptcy, blah, blah, all the way down? What do paralegals do? What are their duties? That's what you should be researching way before you start sending out your resume and cover letter to nonprofits, government agencies, private law firms, corporate legal departments. Research that area of law. And I don't mean take a week. If you see an ad in the paper and you want to apply to it, then you're going to do a major cram session and figure out what do paralegals do and what don't you understand in some of the tasks that you're looking at, the duties. What is it that you don't understand? Then you have to look that up and use a notebook to track your research, or type it in your computer, whatever you want to do. And learn how to do some of those things, okay? As look up documents that they reference. You know, you may find a list of how paralegals work a specific kind of case. If it's personal injury, family law, from start to finish. What does that mean? In bankruptcy, we don't file a complaint. We file a bankruptcy petition for the person filing bankruptcy. And so it's not called a notice or a motion. Sometimes we have to file those. But in bankruptcy, what we file for the client is called a petition. And the client is called a debtor. See? And it's different language in that area of law. So if I were looking at bankruptcy for the first time, I would look at what are bankruptcy intake sheets. And I would find this lingo as I researched what paralegals do, not what attorneys do, because that's not what you'll be unless you do go to law school later, which is what many of the people on my Paralegal Coffee Talk page have said they're interested in. Not all, but many have. So I wanted to say that give yourself that time to research. And the more you know, the less fearful you'll feel, and the less you'll feel like a failure. Okay, you'll feel more confident the more you know about what each of those paralegals do. If you're interested in 3 or 4 areas of law, then it's time to what we call drill down and get to the nitty-gritty of it. Find out what paralegals do in each of those areas, okay? So any questions, comments, please post them in the comments section. Would love to hear from you. And don't forget that if you need help with interviews and knocking the interview out of the park, there's an interview class that I offer. There's a cover letter secrets class that is the bomb. And you can check those out. I will post those. If you're on YouTube watching this, then look in the description box. If you're on Facebook watching this, you can look in the feed and you'll see different postings for various classes. And you can find it easiest by going to the Paralegal Hub with the link I've provided, and then you can see what's around the hub. Okay, so have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.